Nathan Pierce's fist slammed into the stranger's chest once, twice, 3 times, while his 8-year-old son screamed behind him. "Dad, you're hurting her." "She's already dead," Nathan shouted back, then pressed his mouth to the blue lips of a woman whose name he didn't know and breathed. Her chest didn't rise. He hit her again. Harder. "Come on, goddammit! Come on!" The woman's body jerked. Her eyes flew open wild, unseeing, and she gasped like someone drowning. Nathan fell back in the snow, his hands shaking, covered in her blood. That was 4 minutes ago. Now the woman was dying again in his arms, and Nathan realized he'd just performed CPR on someone who would destroy his entire life in exactly 3 months. He just didn't know it yet. But what this dying stranger would reveal about his dead wife, about the real reason Sarah made him take that wilderness first aid course, about the secret she'd kept for 8 years, that truth would either save Nathan's family or annihilate everything Sarah died protecting. Before we continue, tell us where in the world are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. We love seeing how far these stories travel. 4 minutes earlier. "Dad, the compass is broken." Nathan Pierce grabbed the device from his son's hand. The needle spun uselessly, magnetism scrambled by something, the storm, the mountain, the universe laughing at his planning. "Not broken, just confused." "That's what broken means," Ethan said. The kid was right. The kid was always right. 8 years old and already speaking in Sarah's voice, that matter-of-fact tone she'd used when Nathan was being an optimistic idiot. Nathan, denial isn't the same as hope. That's what she'd said during her last lucid week. December 19th, 3 years ago, right before the morphine took her somewhere Nathan couldn't follow. Now it was December 24th, and Nathan was lost on the same mountain where he'd proposed to her, where they'd hiked every anniversary, where he'd scattered half her ashes because she'd made him promise not to keep them all in that depressing urn. The other half waited in Ethan's backpack. Today was the day. 3 years. Time to let go. Except the mountain was erasing itself. Snow fell horizontally, driven by wind that screamed through the pines. Visibility maybe 20 feet. Temperature dropping fast. Nathan's weather app had promised light flurries. His weather app was a lying piece of shit. "We're turning back," Nathan said. "But we didn't." Now Ethan. They'd taken 3 steps when Nathan heard it. Not wind, not branches creaking under snow weight. A voice. Female. Weak. Barely human. "Help!" Nathan froze. Ethan's hand tightened around his. "Dad, stay behind me." The voice came from the embankment, a 45-degree slope that disappeared into white void. Nathan moved to the edge, peered over. Nothing. Just snow and scattered pines and, "Please, somebody." There. 30 feet down. A dark shape against the white. "Hello," Nathan shouted. "Can you hear me?" No response. "Ethan, stay right here. Don't move." "Dad, what if—" "Don't move." Nathan didn't wait for agreement. Couldn't afford to debate with an 8-year-old's very reasonable fear of abandonment. He half slid down the slope, using exposed roots for handholds, snow filling his boots. 20 feet down, he saw the blood. Dark red splashes frozen in crystalline patterns. A trail leading to 30 feet down, he found her. A woman slumped against a twisted pine. Mid-30s. Expensive hiking gear doing nothing to save her life. Left leg bent, wrong bone visible through torn fabric. Blood everywhere, but her face stopped Nathan's heart. Blue lips, half-closed eyes, skin the color of old ice. "Hey." Nathan dropped beside her, yanking off his gloves. "Can you hear me?" She didn't respond. Didn't blink. He pressed 2 fingers to her neck. Searching, searching. Nothing. "No. No, no, no." He tilted her head back. Cleared her airway, put his ear to her mouth. No breath, no pulse. Dead. Fuck! Nathan's hands moved automatically, the wilderness first aid course Sarah had forced him to take. 3 weekends he'd complained about. 3 weekends she'd insisted on. Trust me, Nathan. You'll need this. As if she'd known. As if she'd seen this exact moment. He positioned his hands on her sternum, pushed hard, felt ribs flex under his palms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At 30 compressions, he tilted her head back again, pinched her nose, sealed his mouth over her blue lips and breathed. Her chest rose slightly. He breathed again. Nothing. Back to compressions, counting, pushing, feeling her body yield under his hands like something already broken. Come on, goddammit. Dad. Ethan was sliding down the slope, backpack bouncing. I told you to. She's dead, isn't she? Nathan kept compressing. Not if I can. Dad, you're doing it wrong. Mom's book said you have to do it harder. What book? The one in the emergency kit. The one Mom wrote stuff in. Ethan was already digging through the red nylon bag Sarah had packed. He pulled out a laminated card covered in Sarah's handwriting. Cardiac arrest in wilderness. Push hard. Push fast. Break ribs if necessary. Dead people don't sue for broken ribs. Sarah. Nathan's vision blurred. He repositioned. Pushed harder. Felt something crack under his hands. 1, 2, 3. At 30, he gave 2 breaths. Her chest rose better this time. Back to compressions. His arms burned. His lungs screamed. Snow fell on the woman's face, melting on skin that was too cold to freeze it. 1, 2, 3. Dad. Her fingers moved. Keep talking to her, Ethan. Say anything. Hi. I'm Ethan. That's my dad. He's really good at not giving up. He didn't give up on my mom even when the doctor said to. He held her for 3 days while she... The woman gasped. Nathan jerked back. Her eyes flew open, wild, unfocused, and she sucked air like someone drowning. Her body convulsed. Her hands clawed at Nathan's jacket. Easy, you're okay. She gasped again, and again, hyperventilating. Slow down, breathe slow, you're safe. Her eyes found his, green, terrified. You were... Yeah, welcome back. She tried to sit up, screamed, collapsed back. Your leg's broken, Nathan said. Don't move. We've got help coming. We don't, Ethan whispered. I tried to call. No signal. Nathan's stomach dropped. Right. They were in a dead zone. Cell service only worked at the peak, still 15 minutes away in good weather. The woman's breathing was slowing, her eyes starting to roll back. Hey, stay with me. Nathan grabbed her face. What's your name? Maya. Maya, I'm Nathan. That's Ethan. You fell. You've been out here for hours. Your body temperature is dangerously low. We need to warm you up. Emma. Is Emma someone we should call? Sorry. So sorry. Sorry for what? But she was slipping again. Consciousness flickering. Ethan, the emergency blanket, now. They wrapped her in mylar. Nathan activated chemical hand warmers, all 6, and placed them against her core. Armpits, groin, neck. He stripped off his jacket and added it to the layers. Her pulse was weak but present, breathing shallow but steady. Okay, Nathan said, more to himself than her. Okay, you're going to make it. Dad, I'm going to try the peak. Maybe I can get signal. It's too... Mom would do it. The words hit Nathan in the chest. Because Sarah would do it. Sarah ran toward danger when people needed help. Ran toward it while Nathan calculated risks. Go, fast as you can. Stay on the trail. Ethan scrambled up the slope. Nathan pulled Maya closer, sharing body heat. Her head lolled against his shoulder. He could feel how cold she was, cold that had soaked into her bones. All right, Maya. Just you and me now, so you're going to stay awake. Her lips moved. No sound. My wife died 3 years ago today, Nathan said. Sarah. She was a nurse. Saved kids every single day at Denver Children's Hospital. Then she got ovarian cancer and... His voice cracked. And I couldn't save her. I could only hold her while she got cold. Like you. She got so cold at the end. Nothing warmed her up. Not blankets. Not me. Nothing. Maya's fingers twitched against his chest. But you're not dying. Understand, not today. Not on this mountain. Not on the anniversary of Sarah's death. I can't watch someone else. Nathan. He looked down. Maya's eyes were open, barely, but focused on him. Emma is my daughter. Nathan's breath caught. Where is she? We can call dead, 2 years ago, leukemia. The word hung in the frozen air. I'm sorry, Nathan whispered. I was her surgeon. I operated. I tried. Maya's face crumpled. I couldn't save her. My own daughter. All that training, all that knowledge, useless. Maya. I came here to finish it. Came here to... Stop. Nathan's voice came out harder than he intended. Maya flinched. You came here to finish what? He demanded. To die, to jump, to let hypothermia take you. She didn't answer. Didn't need to. Well, congratulations. You almost succeeded. Your heart stopped. I brought you back. So now you're going to live with that. You should have let me. I have an 8-year-old son who just watched me perform CPR on a stranger because 3 years ago, his mother made me take a wilderness first aid course. You know why she made me take it. Maya shook her head weakly. Because Sarah knew she was dying. Knew I'd be alone with Ethan. Knew I'd need to save someone someday to remember I wasn't powerless. She planned it. She fucking planned this moment. Nathan's hands were shaking. So no, I didn't save you for you. I saved you for my dead wife who somehow knew I'd need this, and for my son who needs to see his father succeed at something. You don't get to take that away by dying anyway. Maya's eyes filled with tears. I miss her, she whispered. I miss Emma every second. It doesn't stop. I know. How do you keep going? Nathan looked up the slope where Ethan had disappeared into the white. You find something worth staying for. They sat in silence. Snow falling, wind howling. 2 strangers held together by shared grief and stubbornness. 8 minutes later, Nathan heard voices. 12 minutes later, a rescue team descended with equipment. 15 minutes later, a paramedic named Rodriguez was checking Maya's vitals while his partner prepared an IV. Core temp 86 degrees, Rodriguez called to the helicopter hovering above. Hypothermia resolved stable vitals, compound fracture left tibia. She's lucky you found her. Lucky, Nathan repeated flatly. Rodriguez caught his tone, looked at Nathan's blood-covered hands, the makeshift first aid, the way Nathan was still holding Maya like letting go meant death. You brought her back, Rodriguez said quietly. Her heart stopped. You brought her back. My wife taught me. Your wife was smart. My wife is dead. Rodriguez didn't flinch. Then she gave you one hell of a final gift. They loaded Maya onto the stretcher. She reached for Nathan's hand. Thank you, she whispered. Don't thank me yet. Why not? Because now you have to figure out what to do with a life you didn't want back. They winched her up to the helicopter. Ethan returned with the ground team shivering and proud. I got through. I told them exactly where we were. You did good, buddy. Is she going to be okay? Nathan watched the helicopter disappear into the gray sky. I don't know. A young EMT approached with Maya's recovered backpack. We need some information, sir. Did she say anything, any medical conditions? She's a surgeon. Her daughter died 2 years ago. Leukemia. The EMT wrote quickly. Anything else? Yeah. Nathan met his eyes. She came here to die. So when you get her to the hospital, you put her on a psych hold. Understand? Sir, I can't. You can. You will. Because if you don't and she tries again, I'm coming after you. The EMT nodded slowly. Yes, sir. They helped Nathan and Ethan back to the parking lot. Nathan's truck sat alone under 6 inches of snow. Inside the cab heater blasting, Ethan finally spoke. We didn't scatter Mom's ashes. No. Are you mad? Nathan looked at his son. Really looked. Ethan's face was pinched with cold and worry and something else. Something that looked like hope. Mom said the universe keeps things balanced. Ethan continued. Someone leaves, someone comes. What if we weren't supposed to scatter her ashes today? What if we were supposed to find Dr. Maya instead? Ethan, what if that's Mom's gift, not the first aid course? The whole thing. The storm. The trail. Everything. Nathan's throat tightened. You sound like her. Good. Someone should. The drive down the mountain was silent, except for the rhythmic thump of windshield wipers. Nathan's hands ached, his back screamed. His mind replayed the moment Maya's heart started beating again under his palms. That surge of power, of purpose, of being useful again. At home, Nathan tried to sleep. Couldn't. At 2:17 a.m., his phone rang. Mr. Pierce, St. Anthony Hospital. Dr. Chen is awake. She's stable. Surgery went well. But... The nurse paused. She's asking for you. She says she needs to explain something. Something about your wife. Nathan sat up. What about my wife? She wouldn't say. Just that you need to come tomorrow. That you'll want to know the truth. After the nurse hung up, Nathan sat in the dark. A surgeon, his age, who lost her daughter to the same kind of cancer that took Sarah, who came to a mountain to die on Christmas Eve, who knew something about Sarah. Nathan pulled out his phone, searched Dr. Maya Chen, Denver surgeon, leukemia. The results loaded. His blood went cold. The top article was from 2 years ago. Prominent pediatric surgeon's daughter dies despite experimental treatment. Dr. Maya Chen, head of pediatric oncology at Denver Children's Hospital, lost her 6-year-old daughter Emma to acute lymphoblastic leukemia yesterday. Dr. Chen had been treating Emma personally using an experimental protocol, Denver Children's Hospital, where Sarah worked, where Sarah died. Nathan scrolled down, found another article, surgeon resigns following daughter's death. Dr. Maya Chen has stepped down from her position at Denver Children's Hospital following the death of her daughter. Colleagues describe Chen as devastated and cite concerns about her mental state. And then Nathan saw it. A photo from a hospital fundraiser. 3 years old. Dr. Maya Chen standing next to a group of nurses. And there in the front row, wearing her purple scrubs and that crooked smile, Sarah. Nathan's hands shook so badly he almost dropped the phone. Sarah knew Maya Chen. Sarah worked with Maya Chen. And Sarah had never mentioned her. Not once. At 6:00 a.m., Nathan stood in Ethan's doorway watching his son sleep. At 7:30 a.m., he made coffee he didn't drink. At 9:00 a.m., he drove to St. Anthony Hospital. The nurse led him to room 347, stopped outside. Mr. Pierce, Dr. Chen is fragile. Please be gentle. I'll do my best. He pushed open the door. Maya Chen lay in the hospital bed, leg elevated in a cast IV in her arm. She looked smaller than she had on the mountain. More human. More breakable. Her eyes met his. You came. You said you knew something about Sarah. I did. I do. Maya's voice cracked. Nathan, I need to tell you something. Something Sarah made me promise never to tell you. But after yesterday, after what you did, you deserve to know. Nathan's chest tightened. Know what? Maya took a shaking breath. Sarah didn't have ovarian cancer. The room tilted. What? She had something else. Something genetic. Something she chose not to treat because... Maya's eyes filled with tears. Because she was trying to save my daughter. Nathan couldn't breathe, couldn't think. What the fuck are you talking about? Sarah was Emma's bone marrow match, the only viable match we could find. She was scheduled to donate, but then she got sick, and the donation would have accelerated her condition, made it untreatable. Nathan grabbed the doorframe. Sarah chose Emma, Maya whispered. She chose my daughter over her own life, and she made me promise never to tell you, never to let you know what she gave up. The floor was falling away. She donated 2 weeks before she went into hospice. She gave Emma 6 more months. 6 months I got to hold my daughter because of Sarah. Nathan's vision blurred. But Emma died anyway. Yes. And Sarah died. Yes. So she sacrificed herself for nothing. No. Maya's voice turned fierce. She gave me 6 more months with my daughter. She gave Emma 6 more months of life. That's not nothing. That's everything. Nathan stumbled backward. All those nights holding Sarah while she got cold. All those days watching her fade. All that time thinking it was just bad luck, just random cells gone wrong, and she'd chosen it. Chosen to die so Maya's daughter could live a little longer. Nathan, please. But he was already walking fast, down the hallway, down the stairs, out into the parking lot where the winter sun was too bright and the air was too cold and nothing made sense anymore. His phone buzzed. Ethan. Dad, where are you? Did you see Dr. Maya? What did she say? Nathan stared at the message. Then he got in his truck and drove back to the mountain. Back to Widow's Peak, where Sarah's ashes waited. Because his wife had lied to him for 3 years, and he needed to ask her why. The mountain looked different in daylight. Nathan stood at the trailhead. Sarah's ashes, heavy in his backpack, staring at the path he'd descended 12 hours ago, with a stranger's blood on his hands. The storm had passed. Everything was crystalline, and still the kind of perfect winter morning Sarah used to call God showing off. He started walking. His phone had been buzzing for an hour. Ethan, Marcus, the hospital. He'd silenced them all. This conversation was between him and Sarah, and the dead didn't use cell phones. The hike took 40 minutes. His legs remembered the route, even though his mind was elsewhere, stuck in that hospital room, Maya's words playing on repeat. Sarah chose Emma over her own life. At Widow's Peak, Nathan set down his backpack, pulled out the wooden box his father-in-law had carved, opened it. Sarah's ashes were gray and white, and nothing like the woman who'd laughed and argued and saved people and lied to him for 3 goddamn years. Why? Nathan asked the box, the sky, the indifferent mountain. Why didn't you tell me? The wind answered with silence. I would have understood. I would have... His voice cracked. I would have tried to stop you. And there it was. The truth Sarah had known. Nathan would have fought her decision. Would have argued that Emma Chen wasn't worth Sarah's life. Would have said their son needed his mother more than a stranger's daughter needed 6 extra months. He would have been selfish, practical, wrong. Sarah had known that, so she'd lied. You didn't trust me, Nathan said to the ashes. You thought I'd choose you over doing the right thing, and you were right. I would have, every time. His phone buzzed again. He pulled it out ready to silence it, but the caller ID stopped him. Maya Chen. Nathan stared at the screen, let it ring 4 times before answering. How did you get this number? Hospital records. Maya's voice was hoarse. Nathan, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have told you. Sarah made me promise. She made you promise a lot of things, apparently. Silence. Where are you? Maya asked finally. Where do you think? The Peak. Nathan, don't whatever you're thinking, don't do something you can't take back. Like donating bone marrow when you're dying. Like choosing someone else's kid over your own husband and son. She loved you. She loved Ethan more than anything. Just not enough to stay alive. That's not fair. Fair. Nathan laughed, harsh, ugly. You want to talk about fair? My wife spent her last 18 months in pain because she was keeping herself alive long enough to save your daughter. And then Emma died anyway. So Sarah's sacrifice bought you 6 months of watching your kids suffer. Tell me how that's fair." He heard Maya's breath hitch. "You're right," she said quietly. "It's not fair. None of it is." But Sarah didn't see it that way. She said, Maya's voice broke. She said, "Every extra day with someone you love is worth any price." Nathan closed his eyes. That sounded like Sarah. Optimistic idiot Sarah, who believed in cosmic balance and second chances and love that multiplied instead of divided. "She wanted me to tell you something," Maya continued. "If anything happened to her, if you ever found out, I don't want to hear it. She said you'd be angry, said you'd come to the mountain and yell at her ashes, said you'd feel betrayed." Nathan's chest tightened. "She knew me pretty well. She said to tell you this, Nathan Pierce, you stubborn ass, stop counting what I gave up and start counting what I gave you. Emma got 6 more months. You got 8 more years of not being a widower. Ethan got 3 more years of having a mother. That math works. Stop being mad at me for choosing addition." Nathan's vision blurred. "She wrote it down," Maya said. "Gave it to me in a sealed envelope. I've been carrying it for 3 years. Why didn't you find me after she died? After Emma died? Why didn't you?" "Because I couldn't face you. Because every time I looked at my daughter, I saw Sarah dying so Emma could live. And when Emma died anyway, when the leukemia came back and nothing worked, I thought—" Maya's breathing turned ragged. "I thought Sarah's sacrifice was wasted. That I'd stolen her from you for nothing. So you went to a mountain to freeze to death. So I went to a mountain to stop feeling guilty for being alive when they're both dead." Nathan understood that. God help him, he understood that completely. "Then I fucked up your plan," he said. "Yeah, you did." Maya's voice held something that might have been a smile. "And now I'm stuck on a 72-hour psych hold with a hospital therapist who wants to talk about my feelings." "Good." "Nathan, I'm not saying I forgive you. I don't even know what I'm saying. But Sarah obviously thought you were worth dying for. So the least I can do is make sure you don't waste that gift by jumping off a different mountain next week." Maya was quiet for a long moment. "What are you going to do?" she asked finally. Nathan looked at the ashes, at the vista where he'd proposed, at the sun breaking through clouds exactly the way Sarah loved. "I'm going to scatter these ashes, and then I'm going to go home and explain to my 8-year-old son why his mother's heroic sacrifice saved a little girl who died anyway. That should be a fun conversation. Ethan knows. Ethan knows I found you. He doesn't know the rest. Maybe he doesn't need to. Maybe some things. No." Nathan's voice came out harder than he intended. "No more secrets. Sarah kept enough for both of you." He ended the call. The box of ashes sat at his feet. Nathan picked it up, walked to the edge of the overlook, and opened the lid. "You were right," he told Sarah's remains. "I am angry. I'm furious. But I also—" His throat closed. "I also understand, because if someone needed Ethan's bone marrow to survive, I'd give them my whole goddamn skeleton. So I get it. I hate it, but I get it." He tilted the box. Ashes caught the wind spreading across the valley in a gray-white cloud that glittered in the sunlight. "I love you," Nathan whispered. "I hate you a little bit right now, but I love you more." The last of the ashes scattered. The box was empty. Nathan sat down hard back against rock and finally let himself cry. Not the quiet tears he'd allowed himself at the funeral. Not the stoic grief he'd performed for Ethan's benefit. This was ugly, wrenching 3 years of compressed pain finally breaking open. He cried for Sarah, for Emma, for Maya, for himself, for every person who'd ever had to choose between impossible options and live with the consequences. He cried until he was empty. Then he stood up, brushed off his jeans, and started the hike down. His phone rang when he hit cell service. "Marcus." "Where the hell are you?" his brother demanded. Ethan's freaking out. He thinks you went to confront some surgeon about Sarah. What's going on? I'll explain when I get home. Is Ethan okay? Define okay. He's stress baking. We're on our third batch of cookies. Nathan almost smiled. Ethan stress baked like Sarah had stress cleaned aggressive thorough therapeutic. I'll be there in an hour. Nathan, whatever you're dealing with, you don't have to do it alone. I know, but sometimes you need to yell at your dead wife in private before you can talk to living people. Marcus was quiet. Then, fair enough. Drive safe. At home, Nathan found his kitchen transformed into a cookie factory. Ethan stood at the counter covered in flour, methodically cutting shapes from dough. Marcus leaned against the fridge, coffee in hand, radiating concerned older brother energy. Hey, buddy, Nathan said. Ethan looked up. His eyes were red. Did you scatter Mom? Yeah. All of her this time? All of her. Ethan's lower lip trembled. He turned back to his cookies, pressing the cutter down hard enough to make his knuckles white. Nathan glanced at Marcus, who gave a small shrug. Your kid, your mess, your move. Ethan, come here. I'm busy. Ethan. His son's shoulders hitched. Nathan crossed the kitchen, turned Ethan around, and pulled him close. Ethan fought it for maybe 3 seconds before collapsing against his father's chest. I thought you left, Ethan said into Nathan's shirt. I thought you were so mad about Dr. Maya knowing Mom that you just left. I'm not going anywhere. You promise? I promise. Ethan pulled back, wiping his face with a flour-covered hand and leaving white streaks. What did Dr. Maya say about Mom? Nathan looked at Marcus. His brother took the hint. I'm going to go. Anywhere else. Call if you need me. After Marcus left, Nathan sat Ethan down at the kitchen table, pushed aside cookie dough, tried to figure out how to explain adult decisions to a child who'd already lost too much. Your mom knew Dr. Maya from the hospital, Nathan started. They worked together. Okay. And Dr. Maya's daughter Emma, she had leukemia, a type of blood cancer. Ethan nodded. Like what Olivia's sister had at my old school. Right. And Emma needed a bone marrow transplant, but they couldn't find a match. What's bone marrow? It's inside your bones. It makes your blood. When someone has leukemia, their bone marrow doesn't work right, so sometimes they need someone else's marrow to replace it. Did they find a match for Emma? Nathan's chest tightened. They did. Your mom. Ethan's eyes widened. Mom gave Emma her bone marrow. Yes. But Mom got sick. Did the donation make her sick? Kids were too perceptive, too smart, too ready to connect dots adults tried to hide. Mom was already sick, Nathan said carefully. But the donation made it worse. She knew it would. She did it anyway. Ethan processed this. Nathan could see the wheels turning. So Mom died faster because she saved Emma. Yes. But Emma died too. Yes. Ethan's face crumpled. Then what was the point? And there it was. The question Nathan had been asking Sarah's ashes all morning. The point, Nathan said slowly, is that Emma got 6 more months with her mom. 6 months of birthdays and stories and hugs. Your mom thought that was worth it. But we lost Mom. We did. That's not fair. No, it's not. Ethan's hands clenched into fists. I'm mad at her. Me too, buddy. Me too. But I'm not supposed to be mad at dead people. Says who? Ethan blinked. Everyone. Grandma. Uncle Marcus. My therapist. They all say Mom's in heaven, and she loved us, and we should remember the good times. That's all true. And you can still be mad at her. Really? Really? Love and anger can exist at the same time. Your mom knew that. She knew we'd be angry when we found out. She was okay with it. Ethan wiped his nose. How do you know? Because she left us a message. Through Dr. Maya. She said... Nathan had to clear his throat. She said to stop counting what she gave up and start counting what she gave us. Emma got 6 more months. You got 3 more years of having a mother. Is that supposed to make me feel better? I don't know. Does it? Ethan thought hard. Finally shook his head. Not yet. Maybe later. That's fair. They sat in silence. The kitchen smelled like sugar and vanilla. Outside, snow was starting to fall again, light flurries this time, the kind that wouldn't erase the world. Dad. Yeah. Are you going to see Dr. Maya again? Nathan hadn't thought about it. Hadn't planned past scattering Sarah's ashes and surviving this conversation. I don't know. Maybe. Why? Because Mom saved her daughter. And you saved her. That means something. What does it mean? Ethan shrugged. I don't know yet. But Mom said the universe keeps things balanced. Someone leaves, someone comes. Maybe Dr. Maya is the someone who came. Ethan? I'm not saying she replaces Mom. Nobody replaces Mom. But maybe Mom sent her to us, so we could save her, so she wouldn't be alone anymore. Nathan looked at his 8-year-old son, who was too wise for his age, too kind for his grief, too much like Sarah. When did you get so smart? I've always been smart. You just don't listen because I'm short. Nathan laughed, surprised it out of him. Ethan grinned, and for a second Sarah was in the room with them, in that crooked smile, in that matter-of-fact tone. Finish your cookies, Nathan said. I need to make a phone call. He went to his bedroom, closed the door, pulled up Maya's number. She answered on the first ring. Nathan. I told Ethan. About the donation. About Emma. How did he take it? Better than I did. He thinks Sarah sent you to us. Maya's breath caught. What do you think? Nathan looked at the framed photo on his dresser, Sarah, Ethan, and him at this exact mountain 3 years ago. Sarah's hand on Ethan's shoulder. Her smile bright and real and full of secrets she'd never share. I think my wife was a manipulative, self-sacrificing hero who planned her own legacy like a chess game. And I think she'd be really smug right now if she knew her plan worked. What plan? Getting me to care whether you live or die. Silence. Nathan. When do they release you from the psych hold? 2 more days. Then outpatient therapy, medication, regular check-ins. Where are you going after? I don't know. My apartment's gone, couldn't afford rent after I quit the hospital. I've been staying in extended stays, moving every few weeks, so I don't have to think about putting down roots. That's a terrible plan. I know. Nathan surprised himself with what came next. Stay with us. What? Not forever. Just until you figure things out. We have Sarah's old office. It's got a daybed. Ethan's stress bakes when he's anxious so you won't starve. And... Nathan paused. And maybe we all need to stop running from Sarah's ghost and figure out what she wanted us to do with her sacrifice. Nathan, I can't impose. It's not an imposition. It's finishing what Sarah started. She saved Emma. I saved you. Now we figure out what comes next. Maya was crying. Nathan could hear it in her breathing. Why are you doing this? She whispered. Because my 8-year-old son is smarter than me. Because Sarah would want me to. Because... Nathan's voice roughened. Because you and I are the only 2 people on Earth who understand exactly what Sarah gave up. And I'm tired of being angry alone. I'm tired too. Then stop running. Come here. Let us help. I don't deserve... Neither did Sarah. Neither did Emma. None of us deserve what we get. But we can choose what we do with it. Maya was quiet for so long, Nathan thought she'd hung up. Then, okay. Okay. Okay, I'll stay. Temporarily. Until I figure out what to do next. Good. I'll pick you up when they release you. After he hung up, Nathan sat on his bed staring at his hands. The same hands that had performed CPR on a stranger. That had scattered Sarah's ashes. That were shaking now with something that might have been fear, or relief, or both. His door creaked open. Ethan peeked in. Is she coming? How did you... Your voice changes when you're being nice to sad people. You used it with Mom's nurses, and with Grandpa after Grandma died. Nathan held out his arm. Ethan came over, climbed onto the bed, tucked himself against his father's side. Are you scared? Ethan asked. Terrified. Of what? Of getting it wrong. Of making your mom's sacrifice mean something and messing it up. Nathan swallowed hard. Of letting someone else into our lives and losing them too. Ethan was quiet. Then, Mom used to say scared and brave looked the same from the outside. She did. Yeah. Right before she went into surgery, the big one. She was shaking. I asked if she was scared. She said yes. I asked if she was still going. She said yes. I asked how you can be both. She said that's what brave is, being scared and doing it anyway. Nathan's eyes burned. When did she tell you this? The day before she went to the hospital and didn't come home. Nathan pulled Ethan closer. They sat like that, father and son, both missing the same woman, both trying to honor her memory by being braver than they felt. 2 days later, Nathan pulled up to St. Anthony Hospital's discharge area. Maya stood outside, leaning on Crutch's leg in a walking cast. She looked smaller in daylight. Fragile. Real. Nathan got out, opened the passenger door. You came, Maya said. I said I would. People say a lot of things. I'm not people. I'm Nathan Pierce's stubborn ass, according to my late wife. Maya's mouth twitched. Almost a smile. She climbed into the truck, carefully settling the crutches between them like a barrier. The drive was quiet. Nathan turned on the radio, found a station playing classic rock. Safe. Neutral. Sarah hated this song, Maya said suddenly. Nathan glanced at her. Freebird. She said it was breakup music disguised as freedom anthems, said men used it as an excuse to run away from commitment. Nathan turned off the radio. How well did you know her? Well enough. We worked the same floor for 2 years, had lunch together sometimes. She talked about you and Ethan constantly, showed me pictures. She never mentioned you. She wouldn't. I asked her not to. Why? Maya stared out the window. Because Emma's father blamed me for her cancer. Said I worked too much during pregnancy, exposed her to chemicals, caused it somehow. We divorced before Emma was even diagnosed. He disappeared, changed his number, wanted nothing to do with us. Nathan's hands tightened on the wheel. That's horrible. Yeah. Sarah knew. She knew I was alone. Knew I was drowning. Started helping without asking, covering my shifts when Emma had treatments, bringing food to the hospital, sitting with Emma when I had to work. That sounds like Sarah. She was... Maya's voice cracked. She was the best person I've ever known. And when she told me she was a match for Emma, when she said she wanted to donate, I tried to say no. I knew she was sick. I knew it would kill her faster. But she did it anyway. She said Emma deserved every possible chance. Said 6 more months of life was worth any cost. Said... Maya wiped her eyes. Said if situations were reversed, I'd do the same for Ethan. Nathan's chest ached. She was right. I know, but that doesn't make it hurt less. They pulled into Nathan's driveway. The house looked ordinary ranch style, needs painting, Christmas lights still up from last year because Nathan couldn't bring himself to take them down. This is it, Nathan said. Fair warning, Ethan's probably watching from the window. He's been stress baking since yesterday. We have enough cookies to feed a small army. I like cookies. Good. Because he made 7 dozen. Maya laughed, startled out of her. It transformed her face. Made her look younger, less haunted. The front door flew open. Ethan stood there, covered in flour again, holding a plate. Dr. Maya, I made you welcome cookies. They're snickerdoodles because Dad said you probably had enough sadness, and snickerdoodles are the opposite of sad. Maya's eyes filled with tears. That's the nicest thing anyone said to me in 2 years. Nathan grabbed her crutches. Come on, before he makes another batch. Inside, Ethan gave Maya the tour like a tiny realtor living room, kitchen, bathroom, Sarah's office. "This is your room," Ethan announced. "Dad changed the sheets, and I put flowers on the desk because Mom always said flowers make rooms feel alive." Maya stood in the doorway staring at the purple wildflowers in a mason jar. Did Sarah like these flowers?" "They were her favorite," Ethan said. "We grow them in the backyard. Well, they grow themselves, but we let them." Maya sank onto the daybed, crutches clattering to the floor. "I can't do this," she whispered. "I can't sleep in Sarah's office surrounded by her things and her flowers and—" "Yes, you can," Nathan said firmly. "Because Sarah would want you here, and because running didn't work. You tried that. You ended up on a mountain." "Maybe I should try a different mountain." "There aren't enough mountains in the world to outrun grief." Maya looked up at him. "How do you know?" "Because I've been trying for 3 years." Ethan sat down beside Maya, small and serious. "My therapist says grief is like carrying a backpack. At first it's really heavy, then you get stronger. The backpack doesn't get lighter, you just get better at carrying it." "Your therapist sounds smart," Maya said. "She's okay. She made me talk about Mom dying for like 6 months. I hated it. But then I stopped hating it. So, I guess it worked." Maya wiped her face. "How old are you again?" "Almost 9. My birthday's in 3 days." "What do you want?" "A telescope, so I can see the stars Mom used to tell stories about." Maya glanced at Nathan. "Did you get him one?" "Ordered it 3 months ago. It's hiding in the garage." "Can I help with his party?" Nathan and Ethan exchanged looks. "We don't really do parties," Nathan said carefully. "It's usually just us, maybe Marcus, some cake." "That's because Dad doesn't know how to decorate," Ethan explained. "Mom used to make everything perfect, themes and games and stuff. Dad just buys a cake from Costco." "Hey, Costco makes good cake." "It's fine, Dad. Not perfect, just fine." Maya smiled, really smiled. "I could help, if you want. I used to throw Emma elaborate parties. Princess themes, superhero themes, science themes. I have boxes of decorations in storage." Ethan's eyes went wide. "Science theme." "Emma wanted to be an astronaut. We did a space party. Hung planets from the ceiling. Made a cake that looked like Mars." "That sounds amazing." Nathan felt something shift in his chest. Watching Maya and Ethan connect over birthday parties and dead mothers and the shared language of grief. "You don't have to," Nathan started. "I want to," Maya said firmly. "Let me do this. Let me be useful for something besides failing to save people." The room went quiet. "You didn't fail," Ethan said. "You tried. That's what Mom always said, trying is the opposite of failing." Maya stared at this 8-year-old who talked like a philosopher. "Your mom really was something special, wasn't she?" "Yeah," Ethan said simply. "But she's gone, and you're here, so we should probably make the best of it." Nathan choked on something between a laugh and a sob. "Okay," he managed. "Okay. Space-themed birthday party, but nothing too elaborate. We're working with a Costco budget." "Costco budget is perfect," Maya said. "Emma's best party cost $40 and a lot of creativity." For the first time since finding Maya on that mountain, Nathan felt something other than anger or confusion or bone-deep exhaustion. He felt possibility, and that scared him more than anything. Maya moved in on a Thursday. She arrived with 2 duffel bags and a cardboard box labeled Emma's Things in faded marker. Nathan helped her up the porch steps, while Ethan carried the lighter bag, chattering about the space party plans he'd been sketching all morning. "We need planets," Ethan was saying. "Big ones, and stars, lots of stars. Can we hang them from the ceiling?" "We can hang anything you want," Maya said, pausing to catch her breath. The crutches made everything harder. "Your mom and I used to joke that birthday parties were just excuses for adults to play with craft supplies." Nathan's chest tightened at the casual mention, "Your mom and I." As if Sarah was still part of conversations, still present. Maybe she was. Inside, Maya hesitated at the office door. Nathan had cleared Sarah's desk, packed away the medical textbooks and nursing journals. But her paintings still hung on the walls, abstract watercolors in purples and blues that Sarah had created during chemo, when her hands could still hold a brush. "I can take those down," Nathan offered. "Don't." Maya set her bag on the daybed. "They're beautiful." She was talented. She never thought so. Said her paintings looked like toddler art. She was wrong. Ethan appeared in the doorway. "Mom always said art doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful. She said the point is making something from nothing." Maya's eyes filled. She turned away quickly, pretending to arrange things in her bag. "I'm going to unpack," she said. "Give me an hour." Nathan ushered Ethan out, closed the door. They stood in the hallway, listening to Maya cry quietly on the other side. "She's really sad," Ethan whispered. "Yeah. Are we supposed to help?" "I don't know, buddy. Sometimes people need to be sad alone." "That's what you do." Nathan looked down at his son. "What?" "When you're sad about Mom, you go to the garage and pretend to organize tools, but you're really just being sad alone." Kids saw everything, remembered everything, filed it away to weaponize later. "You're too smart for 8, Nathan said. "Almost 9. "Right. Almost 9. Come on. Let's give Dr. Maya some space." That night, they ordered pizza. Maya emerged from the office at 6 eyes red but composed. She'd changed into clean clothes jeans and one of those soft sweaters that looked expensive but probably came from Target. Her hair was pulled back. She'd put on makeup to hide the crying. Nathan pretended not to notice. "Pepperoni okay?" he asked. "Pepperoni's perfect." They ate at the kitchen table. Ethan dominated conversation school drama, his friend Tyler's new puppy, the science project due next month. Normal kid stuff. Safe stuff. Maya listened like Ethan was telling her state secrets. Asked follow-up questions. Laughed at his jokes. Nathan watched them interact and felt something crack open in his chest, the same thing that had cracked on the mountain. The ice he'd built around himself after Sarah died, melting in slow, terrifying increments. After dinner, Ethan pulled out his birthday party sketches. He'd drawn planets in careful colored pencil Saturn, with rings Jupiter, with its red spot Mars in rust orange. "We need these," Ethan explained, spreading papers across the table. "But bigger, like really big. And we need to hang them so people can walk under them." "Papier-mâché," Maya said immediately. "Balloons as bases, newspaper strips, paint. I did this for Emma's party. Cost maybe $20. Can you show me how? Tomorrow. We'll start tomorrow." Ethan's face lit up like Christmas. This is going to be the best birthday ever. Nathan's throat tightened. Because it wouldn't be. Couldn't be. Sarah wasn't here to see it. But Maya was. And that felt like betrayal and grace in equal measure. After Ethan went to bed, Nathan and Maya sat in the living room. She took Sarah's old chair, the one by the window that got good afternoon light. Nathan didn't tell her it was Sarah's chair. Didn't want to make everything a landmine. "Thank you," Maya said quietly. "For this. For letting me stay." "You already thanked me." "I'll probably thank you a lot. I'm not good at accepting help." Neither was Sarah. Maya smiled. She really wasn't. I tried to cover her shifts when she got sick. She fought me every time, said she didn't want special treatment. That sounds exactly like her. They sat in comfortable silence. The house creaked and settled around them. Outside, snow fell in lazy spirals through the streetlight. "Can I ask you something?" Maya said. "Sure. Do you hate me for taking Sarah's bone marrow, for being the reason she died faster?" Nathan considered lying. Considered the easy comfort of, no, of course not. But Maya deserved more than easy. I did, he said. When you first told me, I hated you. Hated Emma. Hated Sarah for choosing you over us. Maya flinched but didn't look away. And now? She asked. Now I don't know what I feel. Angry still. Grateful that Sarah's sacrifice meant something to someone. Tired of being angry. Confused about why you're here and what Sarah wanted me to do about it. She wanted you to save me. I did save you. No. You saved my body. Sarah wants you to save the rest. Nathan's hands tightened on his coffee mug. I'm not a therapist. I have a therapist. I need... Maya's voice cracked. I need someone who understands what it's like to lose everything and keep breathing anyway. You think I've figured that out? You're still here. You have Ethan. You get up every day. That's more than I've managed. Nathan set down his mug. You want to know my secret? Yes. I don't have one. I fake it. I get up because Ethan needs breakfast. I go to work because bills don't care about grief. I smile at other parents at school pickup because the alternative is screaming. It's not noble. It's not brave. It's just survival. Maya wiped her eyes. That's exactly what I need to learn. Why? Because I'm tired of wanting to die. I'm tired of mountains and pills and plans. I'm tired of Emma's room staying empty, and her clothes staying folded, and her favorite stuffed rabbit sitting on a shelf like a museum piece. Where is her rabbit? Storage unit. Everything's in storage. I couldn't throw it away, couldn't keep it. So it sits in a 10 by 10 room costing me $80 a month. Nathan understood that completely. Sarah's clothes still hung in their closet. Her toothbrush still sat in the bathroom cup. Her coffee mug, the one that said nurses call the shots, still lived in the cabinet. I'll make you a deal, Nathan said. What kind of deal? You help Ethan with his birthday party. Make it special. Make it the kind of party Sarah would have thrown. And in return, I'll help you clean out your storage unit. Maya's eyes widened. Nathan? You can't move forward if you're paying rent on the past. Trust me, I've tried. I can't just throw away Emma's things. I'm not saying throw them away. I'm saying decide what to keep and what to let go. Box up the memories that matter. Donate the rest. Give her clothes to kids who need them. Give her toys to children's hospitals. I can't. Yes, you can. Because Emma would want her stuff to matter. To help people. Just like Sarah wanted her bone marrow to matter. Maya pressed her hands to her face. Breathed hard through her fingers. Okay, she whispered. Okay, after the party. We'll do it after the party. Deal. They shook on it, a formal, ridiculous gesture that made them both smile, despite everything. The next 3 days were controlled chaos. Maya and Ethan transformed the garage into a craft station. Newspapers covered the floor. Balloons hung from strings. Paint bottles lined the workbench in careful rows. Nathan came home from work each day to find them covered in papier-mâché paste, arguing cheerfully about whether Jupiter's red spot should be crimson or scarlet. Scarlet is just fancy red, Ethan insisted. Scarlet has more orange in it, Maya countered. Jupiter's storm has orange. Look at the pictures. They consulted NASA images on Maya's laptop, debated, compromised, painted. Nathan watched from the doorway, coffee in hand, feeling like a ghost in his own life. Dad, you're lurking? Ethan called without looking up. I'm observing. You're lurking. Come help or go away. Maya glanced over, paint-streaked and smiling. We need someone to hold Saturn's rings while the glue dries. Nathan set down his coffee. I can do that. He spent the next hour holding a hula hoop covered in tinfoil and newspaper, while Maya and Ethan debated the exact shade of Saturn's atmosphere. It should have been boring. Should have felt like a waste of time. Instead, it felt like the first normal moment Nathan had experienced in 3 years. Your mom would have loved this, Nathan told Ethan. His son paused mid-brushstroke. Yeah. She was terrible at crafts. Her hands shook too much from the chemo. But she would have sat right here and argued about paint colors and made terrible jokes. Maya's hands stilled. She did make terrible jokes. The worst, Nathan agreed. Remember the one about the skeleton? Maya asked. Nathan groaned. Please don't. What joke? Ethan demanded. Maya grinned. Why didn't the skeleton go to the party? Why? Because he had no body to go with. Ethan stared at her, then burst out laughing, the kind of full-body kid laughter that infected everyone. Nathan found himself laughing too, at Sarah's terrible joke, at the absurdity of sitting in his garage making planets with his dead wife's friend and his almost 9-year-old son, at the possibility that life could still be good, even though Sarah wasn't here to see it. That night, after Ethan was asleep, Nathan found Maya in the office surrounded by boxes. What's all this? He asked. Emma's things. I had Marcus bring them from storage. Nathan's stomach dropped. I said after the party. I know, but I couldn't sleep, and I thought if I'm going to do this I should start now, before I lose my nerve. She opened a box. Inside tiny clothes, a pink tutu, striped leggings, a shirt that said, Future Scientist. Maya pulled out the shirt, pressed it to her face, and sobbed. Nathan stood frozen. This was private grief. Sacred grief. He should leave. But Sarah's voice echoed in his head. Don't leave people alone when they're drowning. Nathan sat down beside Maya. Didn't touch her, just sat. She wore this to her 5th birthday party. Maya choked out. The space party. She insisted, said real scientists didn't wear dresses. She sounds like she was something special. She was. She was so smart, so funny, so... Maya's voice broke. She was everything, and I couldn't save her. You tried. Trying isn't enough when your daughter dies anyway. Nathan thought about Sarah, about bone marrow donations and sacrifices and impossible choices. Sarah tried to save Emma too, he said quietly. She failed too. Does that make her a failure? Maya looked up, eyes red and swollen. No, of course not. Then why are you... Because I'm her mother. I was supposed to protect her. You did protect her. You gave her 6 more months. You held her. You loved her. You were there until the end. That's not failure. That's love. Maya doubled over, sobbing into Emma's shirt. Nathan put his arm around her shoulders, awkward, uncertain, and let her cry. She cried for a long time. When she finally stopped, she pulled back, wiping her face with her sleeve. I'm sorry, she said. Don't be. I'm a mess. So am I. So is Ethan. We're all messes. We're just messes together now. Maya laughed, wet and broken. Is that what this is, collective mess? Best I can figure. She looked at the boxes. I can't do this tonight. Then don't. Do it tomorrow. Or next week. Or next year. There's no deadline on grief. Your son said grief is like a backpack that doesn't get lighter. You just get stronger. He's smarter than both of us. Yeah. Maya folded Emma's shirt carefully, placed it back in the box. He really is. Ethan's birthday arrived cold and clear. Nathan woke early, started coffee, found Maya already in the kitchen, making pancakes shaped like stars. You didn't have to, he started. I wanted to. Emma loved birthday pancakes. It feels right to make them for Ethan. Nathan poured coffee, handed her a mug. They worked in comfortable silence, Maya cooking, Nathan setting the table. When Ethan emerged sleepy and bedheaded, he stopped dead in the doorway. Are those star pancakes? Happy birthday, buddy, Nathan said. Ethan's face split into a grin. This is already the best birthday. Wait until you see the garage, Maya said. After breakfast, they unveiled the decorations. The garage had been transformed into a solar system. Planets hung from the ceiling on fishing line. Stars covered the walls, glow-in-the-dark stickers Maya had bought in bulk. A banner spelled out, Happy Birthday, Ethan, in silver letters. And in the center, carefully wrapped the telescope. Ethan's eyes went wide. Is that... Open it, Nathan said. Ethan tore through wrapping paper like a tornado, pulled out the telescope, stared at it with reverence, usually reserved for religious artifacts. This is Dad. This is... I know. Your mom ordered it before she died. She made me promise to give it to you when you were old enough. That wasn't exactly true. Nathan had ordered it 3 months ago. But it felt true. Sarah would have ordered it, would have wanted Ethan to have it. Sometimes love required small lies that served larger truths. Can we use it tonight? Ethan asked. If it's clear, Nathan said. It'll be clear. I can feel it. The party was small. Marcus came with his husband Tom, 2 kids from Ethan's class, Mrs. Patterson from next door who'd known Sarah and cried quietly when she saw the decorations. Maya ran the activities, Pin the astronaut on the Moon Solar System trivia rocket ship ring toss. She was good with kids, natural. They gravitated to her like she was the fun aunt who let you break minor rules. Nathan watched her teach kids about planets, watched her laugh at their jokes, watched her be fully present in a way she probably hadn't been since Emma died. And he felt it again, that crack in his chest widening, letting in light, letting in possibility. She's good for you, Marcus said quietly, appearing at Nathan's elbow. It's not like that. I didn't say it was like anything. I said she's good for you, for Ethan. She makes you both smile. Sarah just died. 3 years ago. That's not just. Nathan's jaw tightened. Don't. Don't what? Point out that you're allowed to be happy, that Sarah would want you to be happy. You didn't know Sarah. I knew her for 10 years. I was at your wedding. I held Ethan when he was born, and I know Sarah would kick your ass if she saw you punishing yourself for surviving. Nathan wanted to argue, wanted to defend his grief, his loyalty, his right to stay frozen. But Marcus was right. Sarah would kick his ass. I'm not. It's not about being happy, Nathan said. It's about not forgetting. Who said anything about forgetting? You can remember Sarah and still let new people in. The heart's not a one-person hotel, Nathan. It's got room. Before Nathan could respond, Ethan ran up, dragging Maya by the hand. Dad, Dr. Maya knows all the constellations she's going to show me tonight with the telescope. Nathan looked at Maya. She shrugged, smiling. Emma and I used to stargaze. I know a few things. A few things? Ethan scoffed. She knows everything. She even knows the ones that aren't famous. Guilty, Maya admitted. Astronomy was Emma's obsession. I learned so I could keep up. That night after the party ended and the garage was cleaned and the leftover cake was wrapped, they set up the telescope in the backyard. It was cold, clear. The stars sharp as diamonds against black velvet. Maya adjusted the telescope, showed Ethan how to focus. He pressed his eye to the lens and gasped. I can see them. I can actually see them. That's Jupiter, Maya said. See the stripes. Those are cloud bands. Whoa. Nathan stood back, letting them work, watching his son discover the universe through a lens while a woman who'd lost everything taught him how to look. Dad, come see, Ethan called. Nathan looked through the telescope. Jupiter hung there, massive, detailed, impossibly real. Sarah would have loved this, he said before he could stop himself. She would have, Maya agreed. She told me once that she wanted Ethan to know the universe was bigger than his problems. That perspective helps with grief. Nathan stepped back from the telescope. When did she tell you that? The day before she donated. We were sitting in the pre-op room. She was terrified. Not of dying, she'd made peace with that, but of leaving you and Ethan without tools to process it. What did you say? I said she'd given you the most important tool already, love. That love doesn't end when people die. It transforms, becomes memory, becomes stories, becomes... Maya gestured at the sky. Becomes everything. Ethan was still glued to the telescope, tracking Jupiter across the lens. I'm glad you're here, Nathan said quietly. Maya turned to him, surprise clear on her face. Yeah. Yeah. I'm still angry at Sarah for lying. Still angry at the universe for taking her. Still angry at myself for not being enough to make her stay. But, Nathan paused. But I'm also grateful that Sarah saved Emma, that I saved you, that we're all standing here looking at stars instead of drowning separately. Me too, Maya whispered. Ethan pulled back from the telescope. Guys, I found Saturn, come look. They took turns looking at Saturn's rings, at Mars. At the Pleiades cluster, Maya said looked like diamonds on velvet. And for the first time since Sarah died, Nathan felt something other than absence. He felt presence. Not Sarah's ghost, though maybe she was there too, in the cold air and star-filled sky she'd loved. But Maya's presence. Ethan's joy. The possibility of moving forward without erasing the past. Later, much later after Ethan was asleep, and Maya had retreated to her office, Nathan stood in his bedroom staring at Sarah's side of the closet. Her clothes still hung there. Dresses she'd never wear again. Scrubs from a job she'd never return to. He pulled out her favorite purple cardigan, the one she'd worn constantly during chemo because it was soft and didn't irritate her skin. It still smelled like her. Lavender and hospital antiseptic and something uniquely Sarah. Nathan pressed the cardigan to his face and let himself cry. For Sarah. For Emma. For every impossible choice and every sacrifice and every person who loved so hard it killed them. But also, quietly, tentatively, for the possibility that Sarah had been right. That the universe kept things balanced. That someone leaving meant someone else coming. That love multiplied instead of divided. And maybe, just maybe, saving Maya wasn't just about honoring Sarah's sacrifice. Maybe it was about saving himself too. Nathan woke to the sound of breaking glass. He was down the hallway before his brain fully processed movement instinct and 3 years of single-parent hypervigilance propelling him toward danger. The office door stood open. Maya sat on the floor surrounded by shattered picture frame blood dripping from her hand onto Sarah's rug. Don't move, Nathan said. I'm fine. You're bleeding. Don't move. He grabbed the first aid kit from the bathroom, the same one Sarah had assembled, the same one that had saved Maya's life on the mountain, knelt beside her, took her hand. The cut wasn't deep, but it was long, slicing across her palm in an angry red line. What happened? Nathan asked, cleaning the wound with antiseptic wipes. I was looking at Emma's photos, comparing them to Sarah's paintings. I wanted to see if they had similar styles, if the universe was trying to tell me something. Maya laughed bitterly. Stupid. Not stupid. I dropped the frame. It shattered. Very metaphorical. Nathan wrapped gauze around her palm, securing it with medical tape. His hands remembered the motions he'd done this for Sarah countless times, when chemo made her clumsy, when simple tasks became impossible. What were you really doing? He asked. Maya's eyes filled. Looking for signs. Looking for proof that Sarah and Emma, that they're together somewhere. That their deaths meant something beyond pain and loss, and two people who miss them desperately. Did you find any? No, just broken glass and blood. Nathan finished bandaging, sat back on his heels. Sarah didn't believe in signs, he said. She believed in action, in choices, in people showing up for each other even when it's hard. That's not comforting. It's not supposed to be. Comfort is a lie we tell ourselves so we can sleep at night. Maya stared at him. That's the most honest thing you've said since I moved in. Don't get used to it. I'm usually much better at lying. They cleaned up the broken glass together. Nathan swept while Maya held the dustpan with her good hand. Domestic and strange and more intimate than Nathan had been with anyone since Sarah died. When they finished, Maya didn't go back to bed. Neither did Nathan. They sat in the living room as dawn crept through the windows, coffee cooling in their hands, not talking. Finally, Maya spoke. I have to go back to work. Nathan's stomach dropped. What? Not surgery. I can't do that again. But the hospital called. They need someone to run their grief counseling program for families who lose children. They want me. Why would you do that to yourself? Because sitting in your office making papier-mâché planets isn't a life. Because hiding from my past isn't working. Because... Maya's voice cracked. Because maybe I can help other parents survive what I couldn't. Nathan wanted to argue, wanted to tell her it was too soon, too hard, too dangerous. But Sarah's voice whispered in his head. Let people make their own choices, even bad ones. When do you start? He asked. 2 weeks. If I take the job. If... Maya looked at him. I need to know it's okay. That I'm not abandoning you and Ethan by moving forward. We're not your responsibility. You saved my life. That makes you my responsibility. That's not how it works. Then how does it work, Nathan? Tell me the rules, because I don't know how to be alive again without feeling guilty about it. Nathan set down his coffee. You want the truth? Always. I'm terrified of you leaving. Not because I need you. I survived 3 years alone. I can survive more. But because Ethan needs you. He smiles when you're around. He talks about the future, like it's something to look forward to, instead of something to endure. And if you leave, if you take that job, and disappear into your grief again, he'll think it's his fault. He'll think he wasn't enough to make you stay. Maya's hand flew to her mouth. Nathan? So, take the job. Move forward. But don't abandon us. Don't make me explain to my 9-year-old son why another person he loves chose grief over him. The words hung heavy between them. I would never, Maya started. You already did. On that mountain, you chose death. I brought you back. Don't make me regret it. Maya stood abruptly. That's not fair. Nothing about this is fair. Sarah's dead. Emma's dead. You wanted to die. I wanted to let Sarah go, but she tied herself to you through some cosmic guilt trip disguised as sacrifice. Nothing is fair. But here we are. So we either figure out how to live with it, or we don't. What do you want from me? Nathan stood too. They faced each other across the coffee table. Two people drowning in different oceans, trying to figure out if the same shore could save them both. I want you to stay, Nathan said. Not forever. Not as Sarah's replacement, but as Maya, as the person who teaches Ethan about stars, who makes terrible jokes, who understands what it's like to love someone so much, their death feels like your fault. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't yours either. Maya's face crumpled. She sank back onto the couch. Nathan sat beside her, close but not touching. I don't know how to do this, Maya whispered. Neither do I. Then how do we? We fake it. We get up every day. We take the jobs and make the choices and pretend we know what we're doing. And maybe eventually it stops feeling like pretending. Maya wiped her eyes. Is that what you do? Every single day? Does it get easier? No, but you get stronger, just like Ethan's therapist said. They sat in silence as morning light filled the room. Outside, birds were starting their chorus. The world kept turning despite their grief. Despite everything. I'll take the job, Maya said finally. But I'll stay here, if that's okay. I'll pay rent. I'll help with Ethan. You don't have to pay rent. Nathan. You're helping with Ethan. That's worth more than money. And, Nathan paused. And I like having you here. The house feels less empty. Maya's smile was small but real. Okay, I'll stay. Good. But we need to clean out my storage unit. That was the deal. Nathan had hoped she'd forgotten. After you start the job, get settled first. No, now, before I lose my nerve. So that Saturday they drove to the storage facility on the edge of Denver. Ethan came too, insisted on it, despite Nathan's protests. Emma was my age, Ethan had argued. I should be there. The storage unit was exactly as Maya had described, 10 by 10, crammed with boxes and furniture, and the accumulated debris of a life interrupted. Maya stood at the entrance, hand on the rolling door frozen. "I can't," she whispered. "Yes, you can," Nathan said. "I haven't been here since the funeral. Since we packed up her room." "Then it's time." Maya pulled up the door. The smell hit them immediately, musty and stale air that had been trapped for 2 years. Inside a child's bed frame. A dresser painted lavender. Boxes labeled in thick marker. Emma's clothes, 02. Emma's clothes, 3 to 4. Emma's toys. Emma's books. Emma's art. So many boxes. So much life packed away. Maya stepped inside like she was entering a tomb. Ran her hand over the dresser. "I painted this when I was pregnant," she said. "Emma's father said lavender was too girly. I did it anyway." "Good," Ethan said. "Lavender's the best color. Mom thought so too." Maya smiled through tears. She did, didn't she? They worked for hours. Nathan and Ethan brought boxes outside. Maya sat in the weak winter sun, opening them one by one. Some things she kept: Emma's favorite blanket, a stuffed elephant named George, a painted handprint from preschool. Some things she let go: baby clothes too small to keep toys broken, or forgotten art projects that hadn't survived storage. And some things she gave to Ethan. "This was Emma's space book," Maya said, pulling out a battered hardcover. "She made me read it every night for 6 months. You should have it." Ethan took it carefully, like it was made of glass. "Are you sure?" "Emma would want someone to love it. Someone who loves space like she did." "I'll take really good care of it." "I know you will." They filled donation bags, loaded Nathan's truck, made 3 trips to Goodwill. When they finally finished, the storage unit was nearly empty. Just the furniture remained, too big to donate, too painful to keep. "I'll sell it," Maya said. "Or give it away. I don't need a child's bed frame." Nathan looked at the lavender dresser, at the bed frame that had held a little girl who'd loved space and science, and her mother. "Keep them," he said. "Nathan, not for Emma, for the future, for the kids you'll counsel. Some of them won't have beds, won't have furniture. You could give these to families who need them, in Emma's name." Maya pressed her hand to her mouth. That's perfect. That's exactly what Emma would want." They closed the storage unit. Maya handed the key to the facility manager, canceled her rental agreement. In the truck driving home, Ethan read Emma's spacebook in the back seat. Maya stared out the window. Nathan focused on the road. "Thank you," Maya said finally. "You did the hard part. You made it possible. Sarah made it possible. She set this whole thing in motion." Maya turned to look at him. "Do you really believe that she planned all this?" Nathan thought about it. About wilderness first aid courses and bone marrow donations and strangers found on mountains. "I don't know," he admitted, "but Ethan believes it, and he's usually right." That night, Maya cooked dinner, real dinner, not frozen pizza or takeout. Chicken and vegetables and rice that actually tasted like food instead of fuel. They ate at the table like a family. Ethan talked about school. Maya talked about her upcoming job. Nathan listened and realized something had shifted. This wasn't temporary anymore. Maya wasn't a guest, wasn't Sarah's ghost, wasn't a stranger Nathan had saved and immediately regretted. She was Maya, part of their lives, part of their daily rhythm, and that should have terrified him. Instead, it felt right. After dinner, after Ethan was in bed, Nathan found Maya in the office packing Emma's things into a new box, a memory box carefully curated with the items that mattered most. "Room for one more?" Nathan asked from the doorway. Maya looked up. "Always." Nathan sat on the floor beside her, pulled out his phone, showed her a photo he'd been carrying for 3 years. Sarah in the hospital 2 weeks before she died, Bald from chemo, thin from cancer, smiling that crooked smile despite everything. "This is my favorite picture of her," Nathan said. "Not from our wedding, not from Ethan's birth. This one. Because she knew she was dying and she smiled anyway." Maya studied the photo. She was beautiful. She was stubborn, optimistic, infuriatingly positive even when everything was terrible. That's why she donated, why she chose Emma. "Yeah." Maya handed back the phone. "I have something for you too." She dug through her purse, pulled out a folded envelope worn from 2 years of carrying. "Sarah wrote this the day before the donation. Made me promise to give it to you when you found out the truth." Nathan's hands shook taking it. His name was on the front in Sarah's looping handwriting. He opened it, read, "Nathan, you stubborn ass." He stopped, swallowed hard, continued. "If you're reading this, Maya told you about the donation. You're probably furious. Probably thinking I should have told you, should have let you decide, should have chosen you and Ethan over a stranger's daughter. You're right. I should have. But I didn't. Because I knew you'd try to stop me. And I couldn't let you stop me from doing the right thing. Emma is 6 years old. She loves space and dinosaurs and terrible knock-knock jokes. She deserves every possible chance at life. Even if that chance is 6 months. Even if it costs me everything. I'm not a hero. I'm selfish. I want those 6 months to matter. Want Emma's mother to have more time to love her daughter. Want my bone marrow to save someone since I can't save myself. And I want you to understand something. I'm not choosing Emma over you. I'm choosing addition over subtraction. You and Ethan don't lose me faster. You gain Emma's 6 months. Maya gains 6 months. The universe gains a little girl's laughter. That math works, Nathan. It always worked. I love you. I love Ethan. I love the life we built. And I love that my death can mean something beyond loss. Take care of Maya. She'll need you. And you'll need her, though you won't admit it for a long time. Trust me, I'm always right. Love your optimistic idiot wife, Sarah." Nathan read it twice. 3 times. His vision blurred. "She knew," he said hoarsely. "She knew you'd need saving." "She knew you needed to save someone," Maya corrected gently. "To remember, you weren't powerless." "I am powerless. I couldn't save her." "No, but you saved me. That's what Sarah wanted. That's her gift." Nathan folded the letter carefully. "I don't want this gift. I want her back." "I know. I want Emma back. But we don't get that choice. We only get the choice to honor their sacrifices or waste them. And taking this job, staying here, that's honoring them." "I think so. I think Sarah wanted us to help each other survive. To turn our grief into something useful." Nathan's chest ached. "I don't know if I can do that." "Neither do I. But we can try. Together." She held out her hand, the one still bandaged from broken glass and bleeding palms. Nathan took it. They sat there on the floor of Sarah's office, surrounded by memories of women who'd died too young, holding hands like lifelines. And for the first time since finding Maya on that mountain, Nathan felt something other than anger or confusion or paralyzing grief. He felt hope. Small, fragile, terrifying, but hope nonetheless. The next 2 weeks passed in a blur of new routines. Maya started her job, came home exhausted but purposeful. Talked about families she was helping, children's memories she was honoring. Nathan went to work, fixed electrical problems, came home to dinner cooked and homework supervised, and a house that felt alive again. Ethan flourished, brought home art projects and science experiments, talked about the future middle school, high school, college space camp. They became a unit. Not a traditional family, not a replacement for what they'd lost, but something new, something functional, something that worked. Then Marcus showed up unannounced on a Wednesday night. Nathan opened the door to find his brother standing there, face grim. "We need to talk," Marcus said. "About what?" "About Maya," About what people are saying. Nathan's stomach dropped. What people? Mrs. Patterson. The school moms. People at church. They're talking, Nathan. About how fast you moved on. About Sarah being barely cold in her grave. She's been dead 3 years. And you've got another woman living in her house, raising her son. People notice these things. Nathan's hands clenched. Let them notice. It's not like that. Isn't it? No. She's Sarah's friend. She needed help. We're helping her. Marcus stepped inside uninvited, lowered his voice. Nathan, I love you, but you're walking into something dangerous here. You barely know this woman. I know enough. Do you? Do you know why she was really on that mountain? What she was running from? Yes. I know about Emma, about the cancer, about... Did you know she was fired from Denver Children's Hospital? Nathan froze. What? After Emma died. There was an investigation, medical ethics board. They said she violated protocols, gave Emma experimental treatments without proper authorization. That's Maya didn't tell me. Exactly, she didn't tell you. What else isn't she telling you? Nathan's mind raced. Maya had said she resigned, said she couldn't face working there after losing Emma. She'd never mentioned being fired, never mentioned investigations. Get out, Nathan said quietly. Nathan, get out of my house, now. Marcus held up his hands. I'm trying to protect you, protect Ethan. This woman shows up out of nowhere, moves into your house, gets close to your son. She didn't show up. I found her. I brought her here. Because Sarah made you feel obligated, but you're not obligated to destroy your life for a stranger. She's not a stranger anymore. Isn't she? What do you really know about her, Nathan? Besides what she's told you, besides what you want to believe. Nathan opened the door wider. Leave. Marcus shook his head. You're making a mistake. Then it's my mistake to make. After Marcus left, Nathan stood in the hallway, heart pounding, mind spinning. Maya appeared from the kitchen. I heard. How much? Enough. Is it true? Were you fired? Maya's face went pale. Nathan, just answer the question. Were you fired? Yes. The word hit Nathan like a physical blow. You lied to me. I didn't lie. I just didn't. You said you resigned. That's a lie. It's a simplification. It's a lie. Nathan's voice rose. You lied about being fired. What else are you lying about? Maya stepped back. Nothing, I swear. Did you really give Emma unauthorized treatments? Did you violate medical protocols? I was trying to save my daughter. That's not an answer. Maya's eyes filled with tears. Yes. Yes, I gave her experimental treatments. Yes, I violated protocols. The hospital said I was too emotionally compromised. Said I was making dangerous decisions. They fired me 3 days after Emma's funeral. Nathan felt the floor tilting. Why didn't you tell me? Because I was ashamed. Because I didn't want you to know I failed as a mother and a doctor. Because... Her voice broke. Because I was afraid you'd realize Sarah died for nothing. That her bone marrow went to a woman who destroyed her own career trying to save a child who died anyway. You should have told me. I know. I trusted you. I know. I let you into my house, into Ethan's life. I defended you to everyone who questioned. I know. Maya's voice cracked. I know, and I'm sorry. I should have told you. But I was scared. Scared you'd send me away. Scared I'd lose the only family I have left. We're not your family. The words came out harsher than Nathan intended. Maya flinched like he'd struck her. Right, she said quietly. Of course. I'm just someone you saved. Someone you feel obligated to help because Sarah told you to. That's not... It's exactly that. And I've been lying to myself thinking it was more. Thinking we were building something real. But you're right. We're not family. I'm just a stranger who lied to you. She turned to leave. Nathan grabbed her arm. Wait. Why? So you can tell me more ways I've failed. More ways I don't deserve Sarah's sacrifice. No, so I can... Nathan stopped. He didn't know how to finish that sentence. Maya pulled free. I'll pack tonight. Leave in the morning. I'm sorry for everything. She disappeared into the office, closed the door. Nathan stood alone in the hallway, shaking with anger and confusion, and something that felt uncomfortably like heartbreak. Ethan's door opened. His son stood there, in dinosaur pajamas, eyes wide. Is Dr. Maya leaving? Nathan's heart sank. Ethan, I heard you yelling. Is she leaving because of something I did? No, buddy. It's complicated. Did she do something bad? Nathan knelt down. She made some mistakes, and she didn't tell me about them. That's hard for me to accept. Did Mom make mistakes? The question caught Nathan off guard. What? Did Mom make mistakes before she died? Did she do things wrong? Nathan thought about bone marrow donations, about lying by omission, about choosing a stranger's daughter over her own family's preferences. Yes, Nathan admitted. She made mistakes. But you still loved her. Of course Nathan stopped, saw where Ethan was going. So why can't you still love Dr. Maya even though she made mistakes? It's not about love, Ethan. Isn't it? His son's eyes were too wise, too knowing. You're mad because she lied, but Mom lied too, and you forgave her. That was different. How? Nathan didn't have an answer. Couldn't articulate the difference between Sarah's noble lies and Maya's shameful ones. Or maybe there was no difference. Maybe lies were lies and love was love, and he was just scared. Go to bed, buddy, Nathan said. I'll figure this out. Don't let her leave Dad, please. She makes you smile again. After Ethan went back to his room, Nathan stood outside the office door for a long time. Finally, he knocked. Maya? No answer. He opened the door, found her sitting on the daybed surrounded by half-packed bags, crying quietly. I'm sorry, Nathan said. She looked up surprised. For what? For making you feel like you had to be perfect to stay. For holding you to a standard I couldn't even hold Sarah to. Nathan. Sarah lied to me about the bone marrow. She made a choice that killed her faster and never asked my opinion. And I forgave her, because I understood why she did it, because love means accepting people's mistakes. But I'm not Sarah. No, you're not. You're Maya. And Maya made desperate choices trying to save her daughter, just like Sarah made desperate choices trying to save Emma. Neither of you were perfect. Neither of you should have to be. Maya wiped her eyes. I should have told you about being fired. Yes, but I should have asked more questions instead of assuming I knew your whole story. Where does that leave us? Nathan sat beside her on the daybed. I don't know, but I know I don't want you to leave. And I know Ethan doesn't want you to leave. And I know... He took a shaky breath. I know Sarah specifically told me to take care of you, so I'm going to trust that she knew what she was doing. Even though I'm broken. We're all broken. The question is whether we break together or alone. Maya leaned against his shoulder. Nathan put his arm around her. They sat like that for a long time. Two broken people trying to figure out if they could build something whole from the pieces they had left. I start the grief counseling job tomorrow, Maya said finally. I know. I'm terrified. That's normal. What if I can't do it? What if I make things worse for those families? Then you'll figure it out. Same way you're figuring out everything else. One day at a time. Will you come with me to the hospital, just for moral support? Nathan hesitated. The hospital where Sarah had worked. Where she'd died. Where Maya had been fired. Every instinct screamed to say no. But Sarah's voice whispered, be brave, even when you're scared. Yeah, Nathan said. I'll come. Maya's hand found his. Squeezed. And Nathan squeezed back. Because sometimes love wasn't about perfection. Sometimes it was just about showing up. Even when you were terrified. Even when you didn't have answers. Even when the person you were showing up for had lied and failed and broken every rule trying to save someone who died anyway. You showed up. Because that's what Sarah would do. And maybe, just maybe, that's what love actually meant. Denver Children's Hospital looked exactly the way Nathan remembered from Sarah's final weeks. Same sterile corridors. Same antiseptic smell that no amount of cheerful wall murals could disguise. Same waiting rooms filled with parents wearing hope and exhaustion in equal measure. Maya stopped at the entrance hand on the glass door, frozen. "I can't," she whispered. Nathan had dropped Ethan at school and driven Maya here, watching her grow progressively quieter as they approached. Now she stood paralyzed, staring at the building that had defined and destroyed her career. "You can," Nathan said. "You've done harder things." "I buried my daughter. That's the only harder thing I've done." "Then this should be easy by comparison." Maya laughed, bitter and broken. "That's terrible logic." "It's the only logic I've got." She pulled open the door. They walked inside together. The elevator ride to the 4th floor was silent. Maya's hands shook. Nathan wanted to take one offer comfort, but they weren't there yet. Maybe they'd never be there. The grief counseling office was tucked in the corner, deliberately separated from treatment areas, Nathan guessed. A place where families could fall apart without disturbing the machinery of saving lives. A woman in her 50s stood when they entered. Gray hair, kind eyes, the sort of face that had witnessed suffering and chosen compassion anyway. "Dr. Chen," she said warmly. "I'm Margaret Torres, Director of Family Services. We spoke on the phone." "Thank you for this opportunity," Maya said, voice barely steady. Margaret's eyes flicked to Nathan. "And you are?" "Nathan Pierce, Moral Support." "We can always use more of that around here." Margaret gestured to chairs. "Please sit. I want to explain what we're asking of you, Maya, and I want to be honest about why some people opposed your hiring." Maya's face went pale, but she sat. Nathan sat beside her. "The Ethics Board investigation," Margaret continued. "I read the full report. I know what happened with Emma. I know the protocols you violated trying to save your daughter." "Then why am I here?" Maya asked. "Because those same violations showed me exactly what kind of doctor you were. The kind who fought for her patients beyond reason. The kind who understood desperate parents, because you were one." Margaret leaned forward. "I'm not asking you to practice medicine. I'm asking you to help families navigate the impossible space between hope and goodbye, and nobody understands that space better than you." Maya's eyes filled. "I don't know if I can do this." "Neither do I. But you're going to try, because Emma deserves better than her mother giving up." Nathan watched Maya's face transform, grief shifting into something harder. Determination maybe, or stubbornness. The same quality Sarah had possessed, the ability to turn pain into purpose. "When do I start?" Maya asked. "Today, if you're ready." Margaret led them down the hallway to a small office. Windows overlooking the parking lot. A desk, 2 comfortable chairs, a box of tissues. "Your first family arrives in an hour," Margaret said. "The Hendersons. Their daughter Lily has neuroblastoma, stage 4. She's 6 years old. They're making end-of-life decisions today." Maya's breath caught. 6. The same age Emma. "Yes, I know. If that's too difficult." "No." Maya's voice strengthened. "No, it's exactly right. I can help them. I know what they're facing." After Margaret left, Maya sank into the desk chair. Nathan remained standing. "You don't have to stay," Maya said. "I know. But you're going to anyway." "Yeah. Why?" Nathan looked at the empty chairs where grieving parents would sit, where they'd hear impossible options and make choices no one should have to make. "Because Sarah sat in chairs like these, he said, making decisions about her own death while I stood uselessly nearby. And I wished someone had told me I wasn't alone, that other people had survived this, that it was possible to keep breathing after your whole world ended. You want to tell the Hendersons that? I want you to tell them. And I want to be here in case you need someone to tell you the same thing. Maya's smile was watery but real. Thank you. The Hendersons arrived 15 minutes early. Robert and Jennifer, both younger than Nathan, both aged beyond their years by exhaustion and fear. They held hands like drowning people clutching debris. Maya stood to greet them. I'm Dr. Maya Chen. Thank you for meeting with me. The oncologist said you could help us understand what comes next, Jennifer said. Her voice cracked on next. I can try. Please sit. Nathan moved to the corner, making himself small, invisible. This wasn't his moment. I want to start by telling you something, Maya said. 2 years ago, I sat where you're sitting. My daughter Emma had leukemia. She was 6, and I had to make the same decisions you're making now. Robert's head snapped up. You lost your daughter. Yes. Then how are you? How are you even functioning? How are you here working, talking to us like a normal person? Maya finished gently. Most days I'm not. Most days I barely remember to eat breakfast. But I'm here because Emma deserves better than her mother disappearing into grief. And Lily deserves parents who survive her. Jennifer sobbed. Robert pulled her close. We don't know how to do this, Jennifer whispered. The doctors keep using words like comfort care and quality of life and saying goodbye. But Lily's 6. She still believes in the tooth fairy. How do we tell her she's dying? Maya's hands trembled, but her voice stayed steady. You don't have to use the word dying. You can say her body is too tired to fight anymore, that the medicine can't fix her, that soon she won't hurt anymore. But she'll be dead. Yes, but you can frame it differently. Emma and I talked about it like going on an adventure, a place where she wouldn't be sick, where she could run and play without pain. Did that help? Robert asked. Did it make it easier? No, nothing makes it easier. But it gave Emma permission to let go. And it gave me... Maya's voice cracked. It gave me 6 months to love her without pretending she'd survive. 6 months to say everything that mattered. Nathan's chest tightened. 6 months. Sarah's gift. The thing she'd died for. How do we survive this? Jennifer asked. After. How do we keep living when our daughter is gone? Maya looked directly at Nathan. He saw the question in her eyes, the same one she'd been asking since the mountain. You take it one day at a time, Maya said, turning back to the Hendersons. Some days you'll forget she's gone. You'll make her favorite breakfast or call her name before remembering. Those days are the worst. But some days you'll remember something beautiful, her laugh, her terrible jokes, the way she said your name. And those days you'll survive. Eventually, the beautiful days outnumber the terrible ones. Does the pain stop? Robert asked. No, but you get stronger. The grief doesn't get lighter. You just learn to carry it better. Nathan heard Ethan's words echoed back. The backpack that doesn't shrink. The strength that grows. They talked for an hour. Maya answered questions with honesty that would have destroyed most people. She shared what worked with Emma, the memory book, the video messages, the permission to be honest about fear. When the Hendersons finally left, they looked marginally less shattered. Not fixed, not healed, but less alone. Maya collapsed back in her chair. I can't do this every day. Yes, you can. Nathan, you just did it. You helped them. You gave them tools Sarah never got. Sarah had you. Sarah had a husband who fell apart while she died. You're giving these families something better. Someone who understands. Maya wiped her eyes. I need coffee. Or whiskey. Maybe both. They found the hospital cafeteria. Terrible coffee in paper cups. Nathan bought 2 chocolate chip cookies because sugar seemed necessary. That was the hardest thing I've done since Emma's funeral, Maya said. You were incredible. I almost broke down 6 times. But you didn't. You stayed present. You helped them. Maya bit into her cookie. Why are you being so nice? Yesterday you were furious about the lying. I'm still processing that, but watching you with the Hendersons, that wasn't someone who violated ethics for selfish reasons. That was someone who fought like hell to save her daughter. The hospital didn't see it that way. The hospital was wrong. They sat in silence, drinking terrible coffee, watching nurses and doctors flow past on their endless rotations of saving and losing. Sarah worked here, Nathan said suddenly. I know. Pediatric oncology, 3rd floor. I haven't been back since she died. Avoided it. Couldn't face the place where everything ended. Where is she buried? She's not. We scattered her ashes, half on the mountain 3 years ago, half last month. Where's Emma? Mountain View Cemetery. I visit every Sunday. Talk to her headstone like she can hear me. Nathan set down his coffee. She can hear you. You don't believe that. No, but you do, and that's what matters. Maya's eyes filled again. I miss her. Every second. Even when I'm helping other families. Even when I'm living in your house and making space pancakes and pretending I'm okay. I miss her so much I can barely breathe sometimes. I know. I miss Sarah the same way. How do you keep going? Really. Not the platitudes you tell Ethan. The truth. Nathan thought about it. About 3 years of waking up alone. Of making breakfast for a son who asked about his mother in past tense. Of loving someone who wasn't there to love back. I keep going because the alternative is worse, he said finally. Because giving up would mean Sarah died for nothing. Because Ethan needs a father who models survival, not surrender. Is that enough? Most days. Some days I add new reasons. Ethan's smile, a good cup of coffee, strangers who need saving on mountains. Maya's smile was small, but genuine. That's a terrible survival strategy. It's the only one I've got. They finished their coffee, headed back to the grief counseling office. Maya had 3 more families that day, each one devastating in different ways. Nathan stayed for all of them, sat in the corner, listened to Maya guide parents through impossible choices with honesty and compassion that shouldn't have been possible from someone so broken. But maybe that was the point. Maybe you had to be broken to understand how other broken people could survive. That night they picked up Ethan from Marcus and Tom's house. Marcus pulled Nathan aside while Maya helped Ethan gather his backpack. I owe you an apology, Marcus said. Yeah, you do. I was wrong. About Maya. About jumping to conclusions. What changed your mind? Tom pointed out I was being a judgmental ass. Also, Mrs. Patterson called. Said she'd been gossiping unfairly. Said Maya spent yesterday afternoon helping her set up her new computer and didn't ask for anything in return. Nathan almost smiled. Maya's good at helping people. Yeah, I see that now. Marcus paused. You care about her, really care about her. It's complicated. Love usually is. It's not love. It's... Nathan, I've known you for 38 years. I know what you look like when you're in love. You looked that way with Sarah, and you're starting to look that way with Maya. Nathan's chest tightened. Sarah's only been gone 3 years. And she specifically told you to take care of Maya. Maybe she knew this would happen. Maybe she wanted it to happen. That's insane. Is it Sarah was crazy enough to donate bone marrow knowing it would kill her faster? You think she didn't plan for what came after? Nathan didn't have an answer for that. At home, Ethan showed them a drawing he'd made at Marcus's house. 3 stick figures holding hands under a sky full of stars. Labels underneath Dad to me to Dr. Maya. We're a constellation, Ethan explained. Like Orion or the Big Dipper, except we're the Pierce family constellation. Maya's breath caught. Ethan, is that okay? That I drew you in our family because you kind of are family now. You live with us, you make dinner. You help with homework. That's what families do. That's... Maya looked at Nathan helpless. Nathan knelt beside his son. Ethan, Dr. Maya's not trying to replace your mom. I know that, Dad. I'm not stupid. Dr. Maya is Dr. Maya. Mom is mom. But families can have different people at different times, right? Like how we used to be 3 and now we're 2. Now we're 3 again. Just different 3. Out of the mouths of children. Truth delivered with devastating simplicity. Yeah, buddy, Nathan managed. We're 3 again. That night, after Ethan was asleep, Nathan found Maya on the back porch. She sat on the steps wrapped in Sarah's purple cardigan that Nathan had left hanging on the coat rack. That's Sarah's, Nathan said. Maya startled. I'm sorry, I was cold. I didn't think... It's okay. It looks good on you. Maya pulled the cardigan tighter. Today was impossible. You were amazing. I cried in the bathroom between families. That's allowed. Is it I'm supposed to be helping them? How can I help them if I'm falling apart? Nathan sat beside her on the steps. Maybe falling apart is part of helping. Maybe they need to see someone who survived falling apart. Did you survive, or are you just faking it? Both. Neither. I don't know anymore. They sat in silence. Stars emerging overhead, the same stars Ethan charted with his telescope. The same stars Sarah had loved. Marcus thinks I'm falling in love with you, Nathan said. Maya went very still. Are you? I don't know. I don't know what love looks like after Sarah. Don't know if I'm capable of feeling that way about someone else. But I like having you here. I like watching you with Ethan. I like that you make terrible jokes and stress bake and understand what it's like to love someone so much their death feels like your fault. Nathan. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just being honest. Because Sarah hated when I held things back, and you deserve honesty after everything. Maya turned to face him. Can I be honest too? Always. I think about you constantly. About whether you're eating, whether you're sleeping, whether you're drowning in grief and just hiding it well. I think about Ethan and whether I'm helping or hurting by being here. I think about Sarah and whether she'd approve or whether I'm betraying her memory by... Maya stopped. By what? By starting to feel things I shouldn't feel for my dead daughter's bone marrow donor's widower. Nathan's heart hammered. What things? Things like wanting to hold your hand. Things like wishing you'd kiss me. Things like imagining a future where we're not just broken people surviving together, but actually building something real. The air between them crackled with possibility and terror. I can't promise you anything, Nathan said. I'm still in love with Sarah. I might always be in love with Sarah. I know. I'm still in love with Emma's father even though he abandoned us. Love doesn't follow logic. So where does that leave us? Maya reached for his hand, laced their fingers together. It leaves us here, she said, taking it one day at a time, being honest, not running away when things get hard. I'm good at running away. Me too. Maybe we can be bad at it together. Nathan lifted her hand, kissed her knuckles gently. Sarah told me to take care of you, he said. In her letter. She said I'd need you and you'd need me. She was right. She usually was. They sat on the porch steps holding hands wearing dead people's cardigans talking about the future, like it was something they might actually survive. Inside Ethan's drawing hung on the refrigerator. 3 stick figures, a constellation, a family reimagined. 2 months later, Nathan stood at Widow's Peak for the first time since scattering Sarah's ashes. This time he wasn't alone. Maya stood beside him, hand in his. Ethan ran ahead, pointing out landmarks he remembered from previous hikes. This is where we found her, Ethan called back. Right, Dad? Little further down, Nathan said. Past that big cedar. They walked to the spot where Maya had nearly died. The tree was still there, scarred, but surviving. Snow had melted, revealing new growth pushing through old needles. "I don't remember any of this," Maya admitted. "The hypothermia took everything. Last thing I remember is deciding to let go, then waking up in the hospital. You scared the hell out of me." "Sorry." "Don't be. Best thing I ever did was saving you." Maya squeezed his hand. They continued to the peak, the overlook where Nathan had proposed to Sarah, where he'd scattered her ashes, where Sarah's presence felt strongest. Ethan pulled something from his backpack. A picture frame. Inside Sarah's photo on one side, Emma's on the other. "I made this," Ethan explained. "For both of them, so they can see each other, wherever they are." Maya's eyes filled. Nathan's throat closed. "Can we leave it here?" Ethan asked. "As like a memorial, for both our families." "Yeah, buddy," Nathan managed. "We can do that." They found a sheltered spot under a rock outcropping. Ethan positioned the frame carefully, making sure both photos faced outward. "Hi, Mom," Ethan said to Sarah's picture. "I'm 9 now. I got the telescope. I'm learning constellations. Dad's teaching me how to fix electrical stuff. And Dr. Maya's teaching me about planets." He turned to Emma's photo. "Hi, Emma. I never met you, but my mom saved you and your mom saved my dad, and now we're all kind of family, I think. I hope you're not mad that your mom lives with us now. She talks about you all the time. She says you loved space too. Maybe you and my mom can look at stars together, wherever you are." Nathan pulled Ethan close. Maya pressed her face against Nathan's shoulder. "I miss you," Nathan said to Sarah's photo. "Every day." "But you were right. About Maya. About needing to save someone. About the universe keeping things balanced. You manipulative genius. You planned all this, didn't you?" "Sarah didn't plan anything," Maya said softly. "She just loved hard enough to see what you needed. And she loved Emma enough to give her 6 more months. And she loved me enough to leave me in the hands of someone who'd understand." "Do you think they're together?" Ethan asked. "Mom and Emma." "I don't know," Nathan admitted. "But I like thinking they are." "Me too," Maya said. "Emma would love Sarah. They'd probably make terrible jokes and plan elaborate schemes." "Exactly," Ethan agreed. "They'd be best friends." They stood at the peak as afternoon light turned golden. The valley spread below, vast and indifferent and beautiful. "Can I tell you something?" Maya asked quietly. "Always. The hospital offered me the permanent position, full-time, benefits, everything." Nathan's heart skipped. "And I said yes, but I told them I needed Wednesdays off, for family dinner, and weekends free, for Ethan's telescope time. And..." She paused. "And I asked if they'd consider hiring a consultant, an electrician who understood grief, who could talk to fathers who feel powerless while their children die." Nathan stared at her. "You want me to work at the hospital?" "Not work, volunteer. Once a month maybe. Share your story. Tell them how Sarah prepared you to save someone, how survival is possible, even when it feels impossible." "I'm not a counselor." "Neither am I. I'm a fired surgeon who violated ethics trying to save my daughter. But I'm helping people. You could too." Nathan looked at Sarah's photo, remembered her voice. "The point of life is adding chapters, not stopping when one ends." "Okay," he said. "I'll try." Yeah. For Sarah. For you. For every father sitting in those terrible chairs feeling useless." Maya kissed him then, soft and tentative and full of possibility. Ethan made a disgusted noise. "Gross. You're old people." "We're not that old," Nathan protested. "You're like 38. That's ancient." Maya laughed against Nathan's mouth. He felt it vibrate through his chest, joy and grief and hope tangled together. They hiked down as sunset painted the sky purple and gold. Ethan ran ahead finding sticks and interesting rocks. Maya and Nathan walked hand in hand, navigating roots and stones together. At the parking lot, Ethan turned back to the mountain. "Bye, Mom. Bye, Emma. See you next time." "You think they heard him?" Maya asked. "I think Sarah would say it doesn't matter if they heard. What matters is that he said it." She sounds wise. She was. She left me instructions. Literal instructions for surviving her death. I found them after you moved in the emergency kit. What did they say? Don't stop living. Don't punish yourself for surviving. Find someone who understands. Let them in. She knew you'd find me. She knew I'd need to save someone. The fact that it was you that feels like Sarah's particular brand of manipulation. I'm not complaining. Neither am I. They drove home. As stars emerged, Ethan fell asleep in the back seat, clutching Emma's spacebook. Maya dozed against the window. Nathan drove through, gathering dark thinking about Sarah and Emma, and second chances. At home, Nathan carried Ethan to bed. Maya made tea. They sat at the kitchen table, the same table where they'd first eaten together, where Maya had taught Ethan about planets, where their broken pieces had started fitting together. "I love you," Maya said suddenly. Nathan's breath caught. "What?" "I love you. I've been trying not to. Trying to convince myself it's just gratitude or shared grief or Stockholm Syndrome from living in your house. But it's not. It's love. Messy and complicated and probably too soon. But love nonetheless." Nathan set down his tea. "I love Sarah. I know. And I think I'm starting to love you too. Different. Not replacement love, but real love. Is that okay, to love two people?" Sarah would say, "Hearts multiply. That love doesn't divide." Emma would say the same thing. She used to talk about how much love she had, love for me, for her stuffed animals, for her favorite nurse, for chocolate ice cream. She said love was infinite. Smart kid. The smartest. Nathan reached across the table, took Maya's hand. "This is terrifying," he admitted. "Absolutely terrifying." Maya agreed. "What if we mess it up?" "We probably will. Multiple times." "What if Ethan gets hurt?" "We'll protect him. Together." "What if—" Maya stood, walked around the table, sat in Nathan's lap, and kissed him properly. "What if we stop asking what if and just try?" she said against his mouth. Nathan pulled her closer. "Okay. Okay. Okay. Let's try. Let's build something new without erasing what we lost. Let's honor Sarah and Emma by living fully instead of barely surviving." That sounds like something Sarah would say. Probably. She's still running my life from beyond the grave. Maya laughed. "I think I would have liked her." "You would have loved her. She would have loved you. She did love you, enough to die for your daughter. And you love me enough to live for her memory." "Yeah, I do." They sat like that, Maya in Nathan's lap, arms around each other, breathing in sync. Outside, stars wheeled overhead. The same stars Sarah had loved. The same stars Emma had dreamed of reaching. And somewhere, maybe in heaven, maybe in memory, maybe just in the hearts of people who loved them, Sarah and Emma smiled. Because they'd planned this. Somehow. Sarah's bone marrow donation. The mountain rescue. The grief that had drawn Nathan and Maya together like gravity. They'd planned it all so their families wouldn't drown separately. So love would multiply instead of divide. So broken hearts would mend into something stronger than before. 1 year later, Nathan stood in the same hospital where Sarah had died, about to speak to a room full of grieving fathers. Maya sat in the front row holding Ethan's hand. His son wore a button that said, "My mom's in the stars," next to a button that said, "Dr. Maya's awesome too." Nathan cleared his throat, looked at his notes, threw them away. "My name is Nathan Pierce," he began. 3 years ago, my wife Sarah died of cancer. She was 34. We'd been married 9 years. Our son Ethan was 6. Fathers shifted in their seats. Some nodded. Some stared at the floor. Sarah knew she was dying. She had time to prepare, time to write letters and make plans and teach me how to survive without her. And one of the things she taught me, the most important thing, was this: grief and love aren't opposites. They're partners. You can't have one without risking the other. Nathan's voice steadied. Sarah died saving a stranger's daughter. She donated bone marrow knowing it would kill her faster. And that stranger, that mother whose daughter Sarah tried to save, she's sitting in this room right now. She's the woman who runs the grief counseling program. She's the woman I fell in love with after Sarah died. Murmurs rippled through the fathers. Nathan saw judgment on some faces, understanding on others. I'm not telling you to fall in love again. I'm telling you that survival looks different for everyone. For me, it looked like saving a woman on a mountain, like letting her into my house and my life, like teaching my son that families can change shape without betraying the people we lost. He looked at Maya, at Ethan, at the life they'd built from broken pieces. Sarah's not here. Emma's not here. But their love is. Their sacrifice matters. And the best way I know to honor them is to keep living. Keep loving. Keep showing up for the people who need us. Nathan paused. It's been 3 years. Some days are still impossible. Some days I wake up and forget Sarah's gone. Some days I resent her for dying, for leaving, for making choices without me. But most days, I'm grateful. Grateful she loved hard enough to save a stranger. Grateful I was stubborn enough to save that stranger when she tried to die. Grateful that love really does multiply instead of divide. He stepped back from the podium. That's all I've got. Questions. A man in the back row stood. How do you know when it's okay to move on, when you're not betraying your wife's memory? Nathan smiled sadly. You don't. You just make the choice and trust that love is bigger than timing. Sarah left me a letter. She told me to find someone who understood grief. She practically gave me permission. But even with permission, I felt guilty for months. Still feel guilty sometimes. Then I remember Sarah wouldn't want me stuck. She'd want me living. And she'd definitely approve of Maya because Sarah had excellent taste. Laughter rippled through the room. Someone else asked about talking to kids about death. Another asked about handling holidays. Nathan answered honestly. Shared what worked and what didn't. When the session ended, fathers approached to shake his hand, to share their stories, to say thank you. Maya waited until the room emptied. You were amazing, she said. I was terrified. Didn't show. Ethan tugged Nathan's sleeve. Dad, can we get ice cream? You promised if I sat quietly through the boring talk, we'd get ice cream. It wasn't boring, Nathan protested. It was a little boring. You talked about feelings for like an hour. Maya laughed. Ice cream sounds perfect. They left the hospital together, Nathan, Maya, and Ethan. 3 people who'd found each other through tragedy. 3 people building a family from loss and love, and Sarah's cosmic manipulation. At the ice cream shop, Ethan ordered chocolate with sprinkles. Maya ordered strawberry. Nathan ordered Sarah's favorite mint chocolate chip. For her, Maya asked gently. For her, Nathan confirmed. They ate ice cream and talked about Ethan's upcoming science fair project. About Maya's difficult case, a mother losing twins to a genetic disorder. About Nathan's new consulting work with hospital families. Normal conversation, normal life. Except nothing was normal. Everything was hard-won and precious and built on the foundation of people who weren't here to see it. That night, Nathan stood in the backyard with his telescope. Maya brought him coffee. Looking for anything in particular, she asked. Just looking. Ethan says he's going to name a constellation after us, the Pierce family constellation. What would it look like? He drew it. 4 stars, 1 for me, 1 for him, 1 for you, and 1 for Sarah and Emma together. Maya leaned against him. I like that. Me too. They stood under the stars. Sarah had loved the stars Emma had dreamed of reaching. And Nathan felt something he hadn't felt in 3 years. Peace. Not the absence of grief, not the erasure of loss, but the presence of something stronger. Something that could hold grief and joy simultaneously. Something that honored the past while building toward the future. "Thank you," Nathan said quietly. "For what?" "For almost dying on that mountain. For letting me save you. For staying when I was angry. For loving Ethan. For—" His voice caught. "For proving Sarah was right. That love multiplies." Maya turned in his arms, kissed him under stars that had witnessed everything. "Sarah was a genius," she whispered. "Yeah, she really was." And somewhere in heaven, or memory, or the spaces between stars, Sarah smiled. Because her plan had worked. The universe was balanced. Someone had left. Someone had come. And love as Sarah had always known was infinite after all.